So throughout this history course, we have seen a wide range of objects, stretching from a simple stone axe to an ornate clock ship. And while we see these great differences and great changes and innovations throughout human civilization, there's also many things that are still the same since ancient times. I was originally going to choose the bird pestle as the object that showed that connectivity and commonality throughout human history. And I changed it to the Jomon Pot in Japan, because from my own personal experience and from what I know from my friends is none of us have pestles. We don't grind up our own wheat and spices. We buy them from the store. But we all cook in a pot. Just today I took some baked beans, I put them in my pot, and I cooked. And the Jomon pot, being one of the oldest examples of pottery, shows that connection. It shows that commonality with us. That, yeah, I mean, whether it's on a gas stove or over a campfire, a pot's a pot. You maybe have to put water in it to put some some type of vegetables, or if you're cooking a pasta, you put whatever type of thing that needs to be boiled or cooked in it, and you have a heat under it, and it cooks, whether that's electrical or a natural fire. It's the same basic concept. And if you were to just take a random person and show them the Jomon pot and say, okay, cook with this, I think most people would be able to cook with it. They'd be able to understand, yeah, okay, I have to cook it like this. I have to have heat on the bottom. I have to put some water in. I have to, give it a couple minutes for it to heat up. And it's the same basic principle. And it's not only in Japan. While it may have been the oldest examples of pottery known to man, pottery exists throughout the whole world. Pottery exists in the Middle East, in India, in Africa, in Europe, in the Americas. It's this universal tool that helps us not only survive by developing foods to satisfy our basic human instinct to eat, to survive physically. Pottery also unites a people. Most cultures don't unite over their monetary system. They don't say, oh, the height of our culture, oh, look, we have the dollar, or we have the drachma, or we have the yen. Cultures might be proud of their currencies, sure, but we more care about the food. There's more in America, there's more ethnic restaurants for different types of food, and we take pride in our food because our food expresses our people, it expresses a culture, an identity, a nation. Because you can acquire as much gold as you want, but at the end of the day, you can't eat any of it. You need grain, you need vegetables, you need meat, you need fruit. And that's why food is such an important part. It's such a basic need for survival. The earliest humans didn't have money, but they needed food. They needed to hunt, they needed to gather. They would trade. They didn't have a sense of currency. That was developed later as a way to deal with the new changes in society and how civilization was going. And so an object like the Jomon pot shows that, from that period till now, throughout all of human history, that same connection of we need food and the role food plays in our lives is for all humanity. It's this basic human thing, whether you're Greek or Turkish or African or Asian or whatever. It doesn't matter. Food is so essential. It unites us as a people because when you cook for a pot, you cook in a big pot. you're cooking for a group of people. The greatest holidays, whether you're a Christian with Christmas and Easter, a Jew maybe with Passover, Muslims with Eid, they're all centered around food. These big celebrations that have food. And granted, there's different cultures and they have different types of food and reflecting different values. There's that coming together. There's that desire we must come together, and that food unites us. We all survive together. We eat from the same cup. We eat from the same food. That kinship that we have, and it's very human, because that's what we were made to be, communal beings. And so when we look at objects like the Jomon Pot, it connects with us today because we still cook with pots. We still cook for the same purpose. My mom's got to cook for Thanksgiving. Okay, we're gonna get a big pot. We're gonna, make all these mashed potatoes in it. We're gonna do that. It would have been the same for the ancients with their types of foods. Oh, we have a festival to some god or goddess. Oh, well, come on, let's get all the foods together. Let's get the vegetables, get the water. Let's start cooking. We have a big celebration to celebrate. It's the same thing, and it's not culture specific, but also it reflects another aspect of humanity is trade. The trade not just of objects and goods, but also of ideas. Different types of pottery can be found in different parts of the world. In Kilwa Island, right off the shore of Tanzania, they had Chinese and Indian and different types of Middle Eastern pottery there. It's the same. We all have pottery, we all have that same basic need, but there's that showing of how different cultures also express themselves and how maybe different ideas spread to different cultures. Oh, that's this pot's ideal. Oh, let's make these pots. This is really cool. Yeah, it helps us make many types of good food. And so the Jomon Pot, I feel like, really represents in this unit our connection throughout human history, from that period through ancient times to the Middle Ages to modern day, and especially connects us to them, to those ancient people, that they weren't some figment of the past, that they were our ancestors, and that we are in that continuity of them, that we're also participating in world history every single day, even though we don't realize it. Maybe in 1,000 years, people will look at us, they'll be like, oh, those people in the 21st century had all these different kinds of things. And so I really think that Jomon Pot is the great symbol of connectivity and commonality in human history.